What's up, guys? Welcome back to C&RDiagnostics. So today we're going to be working on a 2016 Chevy Impala. It's a 3.6 six-cylinder. Customer complaint is the trunk latch is not working anymore. Now, I have done this job in the past, as a matter of fact, only back in October of last year, and I fixed the issue. I'm pretty confident I already know what the issue is. It's another door latch. That's what happens when you replace with Dorman parts. Unfortunately, Dorman was the only thing that was available at the time. It is covered under warranty, so if the customer wants to fix and put a new part in, I will unfortunately get another Dorman part because it is free for the customer. But nevertheless, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the process of diagnosing another door latch, and especially because I didn't do the first one. So first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to get into our all data here. And we're going to scroll. We've already got it pulled up. Okay, we'll go to our diagrams. And we'll scroll down to doors, hood, and trunk. Okay, this is the first step here in your diagnostic process. Okay, so we're going to make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to find our latch, which is right here. Okay, so the only thing that we're really concerned with are these two wires here, pin 1 and pin 2, the dark blue and yellow, and the black wire. This violet gray, if you follow it up, that's a liftgate ajar switch, so that tells your instrument cluster or dash, whatever you want to call it, to tell you that your trunk is open. Okay, so that's all that one is. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go down here and we want to notice this black wire is a ground. Okay, goes right to ground, G401. Now the first thing to note, if you're not familiar with it, is this dashed line here. The reason for that is telling you that there are more components that are grounded at this same location. That's all that means. Now this next black dot here tells you it's either a junction or a splice where other ground wires also tie into that. Okay, that's all that means. Very simple. It's irrelevant to what we're working on right now, but that's just so you know. Okay, so we know right now that this motor gets constant ground. Okay, if you follow that wire up, there's no breaks or anything like that. It's just constant ground. So that tells you that what this needs to, in order to turn on, is a power. So let's follow this dark blue and yellow wire up and see where it comes from. Okay, so dark blue and yellow comes right here to this side of your rear compartment lid unlatch relay. Okay, so the power that it's going to be receiving is coming from this trunk release fuse, 5 amp. All right, so we need to know what actually turns this on. How does the motor get power from this fuse? Well, this is the load side of the relay because this is what is being controlled. This is the control side of the relay. This is what's doing the control. And that coil is a magnetic field once it gets energized, and it pulls this switch closed so the trunk latch motor can receive power. Okay, so that yellow wire goes to our body control module. You see here. That is also, for the most part, unless the diagnosis gets very in depth, that is for the most part irrelevant. All that you're looking at here, the release control, all that is basically whether there's a button in the car to release it. It's what I'm going to use is just the key fob. It's just that simple. The trunk release button on the key fob is going to energize this gray and yellow wire. When you hold that button, it's going to turn this on. That coil is going to get turned on because, as you can see, that also has a constant ground going right here to G101. Okay, so that there's ground on this side of the coil. All it needs is the power. So when you hit that trunk button, this line is going to get energized with power, and it's going to force this switch to get closed over to here, which is then going to send power all the way down to your motor. Okay, so the diagnosis on this is very, very simple to make sure that's working. What we're going to do is we're going to check that fuse, that trunk relay fuse. It's the first step. It's the easiest thing to get to. Check that fuse on both legs of the fuse. Use a test light to battery negative. You'll see it in the video. And then touch both of your legs of the fuse. And when you have both legs are confirmed, they have power on both sides, now you focus your attention down here. Okay? We're going to do that with a test light. And I'll show you that in the video. Hang around, stick around, and show you how to get it done.
Alright guys, so if you can see this, here's your first sign that it's a door latch, right? The trunk latch. It's not shutting, no matter what you do, okay? So, we got a pretty good idea what it already is, but we need to figure out why. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is let's check out the fuses. All right. Okay, I think you can see that. Good enough. Anyway, so let's take off the fuse box. Okay, now let's see what we got here. Let's take out all data real quick. Okay, and let's see what fuse we're looking for. Doesn't give us a number, trunk release fuse, so let's see what it says on here. It's a 5 amp. Okay, it's number 66. So let me grab our test light. Okay. Okay, get our battery cover off. Let's just get hooked up to our ground. Okay, if we touch anything power, this should light. So let's just check any fuses. No. Let's test it on the actual battery post, shall we? See what we got. Okay, see, lights up. So let's find fuse 66. That looks like it's all the way down here. So we got power on that side, we got power on that side, okay? Our fuse, our power is good. So that's all we need to do up here. Now let's go back to the back of the car. Okay, let me reset you. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, well, that's busted. Okay, so we got to take these covers out. If I remember correctly, there's a screw in there that's got to come out. So let's take our little pry test light. Oh, and it's like a 7mm. Okay. Let's pop all these clips off. You can see what I'm doing. I don't know what kind of glare there is here, but there's a bunch of clips around here you got to pull off, and there's one like 6 or 7mm screw in there. Now, the last time I did this, I didn't take off all of these screws. You shouldn't have to. You just have to kind of bend the carpeting out of the way. So let's take off what we can get. And that should be enough once we get this piece out, unless we can clear it, which I highly, highly doubt. So yeah, let me go get something to get that off, and we should be in good shape. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, that's the right one. Okay, so that's got that out. You gotta get this hood release kind of poked through here. That's really all the room you need right there. Okay, if you guys can see that. So now what we gotta do is on the back connector, we have to look back at our wiring diagram. And remember, black is our ground, and blue and yellow is our power. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our test light. We're going to hook up the positive lead to the blue and yellow, and a negative lead to the black wire. Now I'm trying to do this all in one hand. Let me see, it ain't working so well trying to hold the trunk down with the weight and the piece in. So let me get the keys out of my pocket. Okay, so now hopefully you can see that. And now what we're going to do is hit the trunk release. And when we hit it, we should have power coming to the release. Well, all right, these pins are not going to hold so well, so let me try something else. Let's try something else. Okay, that's off. Okay, so we have those hooked in. Let's hit the trunk release. Okay, and I don't know if you can see that lighting, but we have juice there. I don't know if that's showing up on a camera well. I'll try it one more time. Okay, so that means the power is getting to the connector when we need it to. So that right there, that's it, you're done. It needs a door lock actuator. Okay, it's unfortunate we just replaced this thing. Let me see if I can actually get it to work with it plugged in. But this is just for video's sake. It's already diagnosed. That's what it is. Actuator went bad, as always, typical Dorman shit. But sometimes that's all you can do is get junk stuff, because that's all you can find. Let me see. Okay, let me see if it'll light up. I got it in there. And now it's working. So take it out and see if it works. And it's working. So it's an intermittent issue with this junk aftermarket. All right, let's see. So that's it. We'll leave it for now, and we'll see if we got it in, if we can get it under a warranty, and if so, we'll just replace it. But that's all. It's just a sticking, bad, crappy, Dorman part. What else is new? All right. All right, so really short, crappy video, but you know, the point is still there that if you've done that before, and I mean the job, not necessarily a door lock actuator, but this is just a simple example. If you've done that before, I did it recently, you can tell the lock wasn't actually moving, that's why you couldn't shut the trunk, which tells you there's a problem with the door lock actuator. We checked it with the power. Hopefully you could see that in a video. When we checked it with the test light power, we could see the light lighting up every single time I held the trunk button down. So unless there's a very, very intermittent issue with the power getting to the door lock actuator itself, which I have no evidence of that. I've worked every single time I tried it. I can almost confidently say that, you know, it's another bad door lock actuator, especially, you know, there's a lot of clues that lead to it. It's a dormant part. The latch physically wasn't moving. When I hit the button, you had power to the test light. I mean, everything that I needed to see to call a bad actuator was there. So short, crappy video. The point is, know your wiring diagrams, know what you're looking for. Information is key, guys. It's key. You can't be independent and work on all these different types of cars without information. If you work at a shop and you know, all you see is Chevy cars, and I mean a dealership, sorry, not a shop, but you know, if you work at a dealership and all you see is Chevys or Fords, and you get familiar with those systems, you can learn to pick up on things that you might not then necessarily need wiring diagrams for. But other than that, yeah, you need information. If you're working on all different kinds of cars, nobody's going to remember everything. It's impossible. So get your information, learn how to read the wiring diagrams and the service information, and you know, you guys can do it too. It's simple. So thanks for watching. Sorry for the short, crappy video. I thought it'd be a little bit more interesting than that. I'll be putting out a couple more videos recently, and then, you know, probably back to my typical schedule of who knows when I'm going to get anything back up and posted. And yeah, thanks for staying subscribed and watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Catch you on the next one.